Champion now, champion forever.
Get another one of these this year.
It's my year, man. Draft day, let's get it.
Y'all ready to get fucked?
I'm the guy with the 48th pick as his first pick. It's gonna hurt this year.
It's my year.
Garrett Wilson better not fuck me over this year.
Fuck your mother.
Beginner's luck for me.
How was that, Gregor?
That was great.
You have fun out there?
Oh, yeah.
What's up, Best Night Ever League? I got the Week 4 recap for you here. Filling in for Zach because he's on his honeymoon in Japan. Late submission. Sorry about that. I know it's a shot penalty or $5, but I'm going to do the shot. And I know that's supposed to be done at the Super Bowl, but I'm going to give you one now as well. So here we go. Cheers. All right, let's get into it. All right, so let's start off with Apollo 12 versus the Ram Ranchers. All four of these quarterbacks kind of underperformed. I'm not too mad about Caleb Williams and Brock Purdy. They got me some decent points, but not quite as much as predicted. Anthony Richardson over here, I think he went out after 13 snaps, so that's really unfortunate for Thomas. And then Derek Carr just didn't do great. He had 239 yards, one interception, no touchdown, so that definitely does not help. Bijan, still kind of waiting for him to break out. You know, right now Gibbs is looking like the better running back there, but we'll see. Breece Hall did not do much for Thomas. That really sucks. I would have expected a lot more out of him in this game, but it is what it is. ETN and Achane both also underperforming. The Baker boys over here, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, they got me almost 30 points. So I'm happy about that. It's kind of what I'm expecting out of them week in, week out. And Thomas's wide receivers did okay. George Kittle had a good game, 12.5 points and a touchdown, so can't be mad about that. Isaiah Likely didn't do too much for Thomas, with only 3.1 points. Diggs also had a good game, 69 yards, one touchdown. Debo didn't do too much for Thomas there, 8.7 points. He had 58 receiving yards, 14 rushing, no touchdowns, so that doesn't help. And then me and Michael traded kickers. Right now, this is not looking like the best of trades, but it's only been 1 week, so we'll see how that goes. Thomas kicker, on the other hand, had 10 points, made a few field goals, missed an extra point. And the San Francisco defense, wow, 27 points, pretty impressive. So what did they have here? We had 6 sacks, forced fumble, 1 interception, 2 fumbled recoveries, defensive touchdown. Yeah, a lot of points for their defense. I'm very happy about that. And Pittsburgh defense didn't do much for Thomas with 3 points. On the bench, I had Baker, unfortunately. I should have let Baker and the boys bake. But I didn't. Tony Pollard, another bench warmer for me at 18 points. So I score 130 points here, and Thomas has 67. I move on to 3-1, and Thomas down to 2-2. All right, next we have the two-headed lion versus Joe Active. This was a hell of a matchup. On Michael's side, Sam Darnold and Jordan Love, they both had great games. Sam Darnold, 275 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 15 rushing. He did have a fumble and interception, but still 18.5 points. Jordan Love, almost 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2-point conversion. He did, and that's including 3 interceptions. So hell of a game out of him. Jamar Gibbs, he had a great game again too, with 78 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jordan Mason here, man, that's looking like the pickup of the year so far. Probably worth the money that Michael spent on him. So what is he? 24, 19, he had 9 and 26. So far he's doing great with CMC out. Jaden Reed, wow, 26 points out of him. 139 yards and a touchdown. Tyreek underperforming here. I would have hoped to see more out of him, but so hopefully he can find his way with Tua out. Aaron Jones also had a great game, 93 yards receiving and 46 rushing. Or I had that backwards, 93 rushing and 46 receiving. Jake Moody, as I said, we traded kickers. He had a pretty good game there with 3 field goals and 3 extra points. And the Cleveland defense did pretty well with 14 points. Over here on Cam's side, CJ Stroud and Jaden Daniels both did great. Josh Jacobs had an okay game with almost 10 points. Kenneth Walker, though, wow. 12 carries, 80 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 4 receptions for 36 yards. That's pretty impressive. Nico Collins also had a great game. Yeah, this is a great matchup. Almost all of their players overperformed, which is awesome to see. You love it. Jamar Chase, 16 points. Yeah. On the bench, anything notable here? David Montgomery had 14.5 points, but Michael did start the right running back there. It's a great matchup. Michael scored 172, and Cam barely outscored him at 178. So Michael moves on to 2-2, and Cam also 2-2. All right, we got the Newt Eggs versus Hawk Tua. So on Connor's side, Jalen Hurts. He had a pretty good game at 15 points, 158 yards, one passing touchdown, and 1 rushing touchdown. So good game for him. Lamar Jackson also had a great game at 23 points, 156 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and also had a rushing touchdown. We're on Zach's side. Kyler Murray and Gardner Minshew did not do much for him. It really sucks that Tua's out. Kyron Williams had a good game at 18.5 points. Derrick Henry, holy shit. 37 points. He had 200 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. Rushing touchdown. He also had a receiving touchdown. So, hell of a game for him. And on Zach's side, both Jonathan Taylor and Chuba Hubbard both had good games. Can't be upset about that. Rashid Rice, I think he went out early in this game, so he didn't do anything for Connor. T. Higgins did all right with 9 points. He had 6 receptions for 60 yards. Garrett Wilson and Zay Flowers, again, not much for Zach. And Mark Andrews over here, doing great. Keep starting him like an asshole. Just keep on doing that. Although I think he did have a couple of great blocks, so that should be worth something, right? We got the Young Ho Koo. He had a great game. I think he had 2 40-yarders and 2 50-plus. I think he had a 58-yarder, so that's pretty impressive. And then the Tampa Bay defense did pretty good here. Only allowed 16 points, 227 yards, had 6 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. So, good game out of them. On Connor's bench, he had Geno. Probably should have started him. And Michael Pittman, he also had a good game. 6 receptions for 113 yards. Oh, yeah, and Jordan Addison with 21 points. He had 1 carry, 7 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 receptions for 72 yards, and a receiving touchdown. So, good game out of him, too. Overall, pretty low-scoring matchup. Connor had 117, and Zach had 109. And Connor moves on to 2-2, and Zach down to 1-3. All right, 18 Cowboys versus You Like That. Josh Allen didn't have a great game here. He had 180 yards, 21 rushing, and a fumble. I would have expected the Bills to score more here. I thought it would be a lot closer game, so that's unfortunate. He only had 6 points. Dak Prescott had a good game, 220 yards, 2 touchdowns, so solid out of him. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Dalton, they did pretty good. 245 yards, 220 yards, 3 touchdowns between the two of them, almost 30 points between your quarterbacks. Can't be upset about that. Cam Akers didn't do too much, 53 yards and 5 points. Zach Moss here, he did pretty good. 15 carries, 51 yards. He had a touchdown. Solid. Jacobs running backs, 40 points between the two of them. Cannot be upset about that at all. That's, solid work out of them. Brandon Ayuk did not do too much either. 2 receptions for 48 yards. Drake London, 10 points, 64 yards. Not too bad. Justin Jefferson, he had a great game, 17.5 points, 85 yards, 1 touchdown. Chris Olave also had a pretty good game with 87 yards. Travis Kelce, 89 yards, 12.5 points. Solid there. Jameson Williams with 15 points. That's pretty good. 2 receptions, 80 yards, and then a touchdown. So, that's good. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he had a hell of a game. So he had 45 receiving yards, a receiving touchdown, and he also had a passing touchdown. So that was pretty impressive. For you guys that didn't see that, I will show that to you in a second. Brandon Aubrey had a good game, and the Baltimore defense did pretty good too. On the bench, not a whole lot. Xavier Worthy had a pretty good game with 15 points. Oh, so did George Pickens. Probably should have started those guys, but overall, So Bobby drops to 2-2, and Jacob also is at 2-2, outscoring Bobby by about 40 points.
Excellent in the red zone, and they've been good again tonight. Seattle's got to make a stop. Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to throw it back to Goff. Who had that on the bingo card? Touchdown Lions.
All right, last matchup here. We've got Run CMC versus Team OJ420. Andrew, you probably ought to change your name. All right. Danny Dimes. He had an okay game with 281 yards. No touchdowns, 1 interception, only getting him about 9 points. Jared Goff had a great game. 292 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and then he also had that receiving touchdown I just showed you guys. Dowdle had a good game, 11 carries, 46 yards, 15 receiving, and a touchdown. So solid game out of him. Aaron Rodgers, he did all right too. He had 225, 5 carries for 26 yards. No touchdowns, but 11.6 points. And then Justin Fields, he had a good game. 300 passing yards, 1 touchdown, ran for 55, and he had 2 rushing touchdowns. So love to see that out of him. Saquon and Alvin Kamara, they've been doing great all year for Oscar. Saquon didn't have any touchdowns in this game, but still 12.6 points. That's solid. Kamara had 1 touchdown, 21 points. But, 33 points out of your running backs. That's not bad at all. CeeDee Lamb, he also had a great game. Almost 100 yards and a touchdown, 20 points. DK did pretty good, 100 yards. Did lose a fumble, though. Christian Kirk, 61 yards and a touchdown, got him 15.6 points. Juwan Jennings, still doing pretty good there for San Francisco. 88 yards, 10.3 points. McPherson, 13 points, not bad. He had 2 field goals, a 40-yarder and a 50-plus, so good game out of him. On the bench, Trevor Lawrence did pretty good. And DeAndre Swift, yeah, he had a hell of a game. 93 yards, 1 touchdown, and 72 receiving. Damn. So, Andrew unfortunately drops to 0-4, scoring 100 points. And Oscar goes to 4-0 with 137 points. So, it's a good matchup out of Oscar. I was kind of unsure of his team after the draft. You know, he drafted 2 tight ends. You know, we weren't really sure what Justin Fields was going to do, but seems like it's working out for him. So keep it up. All right, real quick, I wanted to go over the Week 5 matchups to just kind of wrap up this recap for Week 4. So first, we got me and Michael here. I'm expected to score 128 and him at 118, so fairly close. I started Baker this week. He was on my bench last week and did a lot for me. So rolling with him and the Bucks boys. He had 23 for me, so not too bad. I think Deshaun and Jordan Love are going to do good. Jordan Mason will keep doing what he's doing. Bijan, he kind of underperformed. Still waiting for him. Jaden Reed, I think, will have a good game. Mike Evans did. Chris Godwin, I was hoping to get a little bit more out of him, but not too bad. Yeah, so for this matchup, I'm going to pick myself for the winner. Michael did say that he's going to score 170, and then I'd have to have more than that to beat him, but I call bullshit on that. So I predict I'm going to go to 4-1 and Michael to 2-3. Next, we got Zach and Cam. Zach's projected at 106 and Cam at 115. Cam's been scoring a lot of points and definitely outscoring his predictions. But I think this will be a decent matchup. You know, Zach's starting to put a kind of a better team together with what, you know, from what Nick left him. But hopefully Garrett Wilson doesn't keep fucking him there. But on this, I'm actually going to fade Cam and take Zach here. I'm going to say that Zach's going to go to 2-3 and Cam also to 2-3. All right, next we got Andrew and Connor. Andrew's predicted at 98 and Connor at 126. Yeah, I think Connor's going to take this. I know he's got, Derrick Henry's going to have a good game. Yeah, I think Connor's definitely got this. Oh, I see he's not starting Mark Andrews anymore, so that'll probably help. So yeah, I'm going to take Connor in this one, him move up to 3-2, and Andrew down to 0-5. Last matchup. Oh, wait, not last matchup. So 18 Cowboys. We got Bobby and Oscar here. Bobby's predicted at 130 and Oscar at 104. Yeah, I'm gonna take Bobby in this one. I think he's gonna have a good week. Oh, he's out. So hopefully he fixes that, puts in another running back before tomorrow when the game starts. Yeah, oh shit, Drake London had a pretty good game the other night. So yeah, I'm going to say Bobby's going to move up to 3-2 and Oscar to 4-1. All right, now the last matchup. We got Thomas and Jacob. This will actually probably be a pretty close matchup. Yeah, we'll see here. Anthony Richardson looks like he's back, so hopefully he can have better game than the last 2 weeks. Oh, he's questionable. Derek Carr, Patrick Mahomes. This should be hopefully Breece Hall does better than he did last week. You know, he only had 2.8 points. He should have had more than that last week, but in this one, it's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Thomas in this one. Thomas moves up to 3-2 and Jacob to 2-3. All right, and just a quick look at the standings. In the Finley Hill Memorial, I'm at top. We got Cam, Michael, Connor, and then Zach. Cam does have the most points, but he also has the most points against. That's what's fucking crazy. And over here in the League of Champions, Oscar's on top because he's 4-0. Also has a lot of points at 520. Then we got Jacob, Bobby, Thomas, and Andrew down here at the bottom. So it was a good week 4. I'm looking forward to the rest of week 5. We'll see what happens. All right, guys, that's my week 4 recap. Sorry it wasn't real exciting. First year in fantasy, so I don't really have all the fantasy insight that you guys have had doing this for several years. Oscar and I do have the week 15 recap together, so hopefully we will do something a little bit more exciting there. So anyway, you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Looking forward to some good football tomorrow. Peace.